Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of the Third Impact Anime Podcast. My name is Austin, and the thing that I spent the most money on at Animazement, not a specific item, but just like the category of items, would be, I want to say, anime Blu-rays, which should surprise exactly no one.
It's Tori, of course, and what did I spend the most money on at Animazement? I think it was a toss-up between figures and Artist Alley purchases on Sunday.
And my name is Drew, and I spent the most money also on anime Blu-rays, specifically one box set of Baccano on Blu-ray, which I spent maybe too much money on, but it's on my shelf now and looks very pretty.
Do you regret that decision, or are you proud of yourself?
A little bit A, a little bit of B. Well, but ultimately, though, I am happy with it because I did put the disc in, and it has literally everything on it. It has the English dub and Japanese audio with good English subtitles. So, It's got a neat little art book in it. So,
yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I was like, I saw you have it there after your purchase, and I looked at the price and thought, wow, that this guy is a total sucker.
That was a mistake.
Not that this isn't like a very expensive set that is, currently out of print and all that good stuff. But and it's from Aniplex of America, so you're going to be paying that tax. But anyway, I was wondering, like, this show is only like 13 episodes long. What else is in that box?
It has a lot of text I'm going to have to use my phone's, translate app to read. And a lot of artwork of like the individual DVD releases from Japan, which is kind of neat. But it is one of those things where it's like, it's mostly just the Aniplex thing piled on top of it being out of print and, all the tariffs and stuff going on. So, and then I looked it up on eBay and was like, oh, I could have got that for a little bit less. Lessons
your
learned.
Heart sank a little bit.
Lessons learned. This is my first anime con, so
you stimulated the economy. You do
Exactly.
whatever young weeb does at their first convention.
If only there had been some glorious, wonderful advice given on Sunday.
I know. After I made that mistake,
It's okay.
I sat at your panel in shame.
Well,
Oh, goodness.
listeners to this show will recognize probably Drew's wonderful voice.
Hello.
But you're not a regular on the Third Impact Anime Podcast, but that is rapidly changing as of late.
This is
so
true.
We thank you. We thank you for coming back. But in case people don't know, who the heck are Drew?
Drew are extremely bad with his finances, and also the host of Sideburns Cigarettes, a Lupin the Third podcast, alongside my friends Emma, Chris, Natalie, and Guillaume, where we cover all of the animated and live-action entries of the Lupin the Third franchise in mostly chronological order.
Yeah, Drew's middle name and last name is PayPal Payin' For, but we never give him a hard time about it.
No. Shame me, please. Please keep me at bay. Help me from continuing down this treacherous path.
Indeed. But as we've sort of introduced the topic already, we are going to be talking about Animazement 2026. Woo! If y'all could believe it, it's Third Impact Anime talking about Animazement once again. It's our annual convention, our big home con here, and just full disclosure, both this year and many years previously, Animazement has kindly allowed us to be one of a few featured panelists at the event, and we are incredibly grateful for every time they foolishly decide to have us come back, and this year especially. So was a super duper fun year. So we thank the convention very much for that.
Yes.
And as we've alluded to many times on this podcast, Tori and I have been to Animazement for probably over half of our lifetimes. We both started separately back in like 2010, which is crazy to think about. But yes. I think, me personally, Tori, for this episode, of course, we could talk about our experiences. But more importantly, I think it is important for us to highlight Drew being there, because this was a monumental occasion for Drew in multiple instances.
Yeah.
So not
yes.
only was it your very first anime convention, it was your first anime convention where you were also on a panel.
No, the pressure was high.
The pressure was quite high, and so we just threw you right into the deep end, like, instantly.
Yes, I got a lot of amusement out of this because typically people will take this weekend to go to MomoCon. Like, people will leave North Carolina to go to Georgia to go to MomoCon, but you did the opposite.
Yeah.
And that delighted me.
It was a good journey.
Yes.
There's a lot of discourse in the local fandom about the MomoCon drain, and people sort of ad nauseum compare the two conventions. We are not here to do that. We have no beef with MomoCon whatsoever. In fact, it's a convention we would probably like to attend at some point, because many of our good friends do go there, and they seem to have really cool programming. But it just so happens Animazement's a lot easier to swing for us, and it's also an incredibly quality convention. So that I just wish that they weren't on the same weekend. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Drew, tell us a little bit about, why is it that you've avoided going to anime cons for so long, as the first question? But then what was the vibe check? What was your experience like at Animazement?
Well, the one of the biggest hurdles keeping me from going has always been finances, especially when I was in college.
Incredibly fair.
A lot of my money was going to, my commutes and textbooks and everything. And then afterwards, just finding a steady job. And now I have one, able to accumulate some money. And then finally, I believe it was Austin, you were the first one to invite me to come up to Animazement at some point.
And I will do it again.
And I've always kept that in mind, because Animazement's always been the one where I'm like, I'm going to that. Well, first I thought, I'll go to Anime Weekend Atlanta, and then they decided to do it at like Christmas time. And it's like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. So finally,
and I gotta say, we are long time, well, somewhat, not as long as AZ, but long time AWA attendees. But we have not been since they moved out of October. So it's been a minute. Yeah.
So just the having the funds saved up finally after some time, and the Memorial Day weekend's very easy to swing for me, with work. Finally was able to make the trek up there, which I for my first anime con, this was a highlight of my year. I really enjoyed Animazement. The vibe, for at least from the experience I had, the corners I was hanging out with, it's so, relatively just chill and relaxed and very pleasant. I loved going to all the different panels. I'm just always seeing cool cosplays around every corner. The dealer's room is amazing and dangerous.
So true.
Artist Alley is also wonderful. Again, with Artist Alley, I'll say dangerous, in the most affectionate way possible, because every time you're walking around, you're like, oh, that's so cool. I need that, and I need one of those, and I'm going to need 4 of these stickers, and I'm going to need one of these keychains. So
I think really it says a lot that the Animazement this is probably the same case for many Artist Alleys, but I gotta say the Animazement Artist Alley has been absolutely killer the last several years.
Oh, yeah.
Not that it's ever been bad, but just I don't know, maybe it's just a me thing, but I've just noticed, like, in my mind that it's the last couple years the amount of talent within that ballroom is just insurmountable, incalculable.
Oh yeah.
Indeed. And one thing I think that made it extremely enjoyable was obviously getting to hang out with, Austin and Tori here, who were basically I went with my girlfriend, Becca, also. She went with me and had a delightful time, and they were basically served as our guides to this new realm. But also,
hey, don't sell yourself short. Like, y'all went off and did plenty of stuff by yourselves too. So
I went off and spent a lot of money. But and also getting to meet so many other people from the Third Impact, podcast and just the general Discord server, getting to put faces to names, getting to meet people and I'm sorry if I'm missing anyone. I got to meet, Hank and Bill and Paul and Will and Dylan and Sully and Devin and just so many other people. If I'm forgetting you, I'm so sorry if I'm skipping over anybody.
Kurt Home Video Museum.
Kurt, I got to briefly meet Kurt and see his magnificent museum. That was, oh my God, incredible.
And I got to, speaking of Kurt, I did get to take that what I consider quite iconic picture of all of you guys at Sully's David Lynch in Japan panel, where you're all wearing different Rucking Fountain Twin Peaks shirts.
Uncoordinated, by the way.
Yeah, uncoordinated. Sorry, they're not all Twin Peaks shirt. Devin was, in fact, wearing a blue velvet shirt and made the record show.
Mm-hmm.
Had to get a little variety in there, but that was because I just thought I'm going to bring my Twin Peaks Rucking Fountain shirt for Sully's panel, and it turns out I was not the only one with that idea, which was very delightful.
Great minds and all that.
And speaking of that was it. Speaking of the Anime Home Video Museum, when I first went to go actually give it a look, they had loaded in the Laserdisc of the Daikon 4 short, which seeing that on Laserdisc on a CRT television is like a bucket list item for me. So basically showing up right as they were loading that in, that was magical, man. I really enjoyed that. Just getting to look through everything.
And not to be an understated thing. I mean, how often does one have an opportunity to do that? To watch, Daikon film in the way it was probably originally perceived, at least by a home video viewing audience, is pretty incredible and a unique experience that cannot be easily replicated.
No. So I got to see that. I got to meet very briefly Toshio Furukawa and hand him a copy of Lupin the Third, the Fuma Conspiracy to sign, which he seemed delighted by. I got to meet everyone in the Third Impact circle and hang out with them all weekend. Got to very briefly meet Shinichiro Watanabe, which was one thing I didn't expect that I would be able to do. And just spending time at the con and going to all the panels, I had so much fun. This was a blast, and you can rest assured I will be going again next year.
Heck yeah.
Oh, and also, witness how my mind works and how I forget things and have to scramble back to find them. Also, co-hosting a panel alongside Austin here and Bill and Sully was an honor, if there ever was one, man. I thank you again for inviting me to do that, because that was so much fun. Slightly at first nerve-wracking when I got there on Thursday night and I went to your panel, the Baby Metal panel, and I have always had a complex relationship with public speaking. I'd like to think I've come a long way from the first time I did public speaking in college, because I was a homeschooled weirdo and got a crash course in actual real human life. At college.
We've forgiven you for that.
Hey, I'm on your side, okay?
Yeah.
I have absolved both of you.
Thank you kindly.
You're welcome.
But I feel like I've come a long way from when I read my first essay in front of an entire class, and my knees were like a cartoon character shaking, and my voice was cracking. I like to think I've come a long way from that. I got into improv in college and socialized, but the moment I sat down and saw Austin sitting on the elevated table, and so many people in the room just intently listening, and I'm like, oh no, this isn't just me on a podcast, BSing with my friends. People are here with the express purpose of hanging on every word I'm going to be saying. No. It's that image of the tiger that says he realized he ain't built for this.
But see, you had the great segue in where you were up there with other presenters.
Yes.
And that I feel like that definitely helps. Because you can you can leap off of whatever they say, basically, if you feel like you get stuck.
Well, yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about that as sort of we get into broadly talking about the weekend. So we did do a panel that Drew was on with us, of course, and it was Renaissance of Lupin the Third, which is a new panel for us that we've never done before. And I probably would not have done it if I didn't know that you were going to come with us or come to Animazement this year. I say come with us. Freudian slip. You came with us. I probably wouldn't have had that idea unless I knew, hey, Drew Sideburns is going to be here. This is a perfect opportunity to do a thing. If I have any regrets about the panel is that we did not record it. That would have been really nice.
Oh, yeah.
But, it is what it is. Sometimes life is about the ephemeral moments. So
yeah, exactly.
But we did that, and we talked about basically like Lupin the Third from Fujiko Mine to the present, and talk about how the series has been, had a lot of different and interesting takes over the last like decade and change, and then kind of go through each entry in somewhat detail. But Drew, you were incredibly helpful for that panel because I was super overwhelmed working on all of my panels, and you were like, I got you, bro, and basically did all of my clipping for me. So I very much appreciate that part of it because, as you probably learned through that experience, there's a lot of work that goes into making panels.
Oh, yes. Just from the brief, because again, you made the entire PowerPoint, which was really excellently made, I gotta say.
You.
The whole layout was really, really stylish and cool. And just handling the clip side, it was like, gosh, darn it, man, it takes a lot.
Yeah, hours and hours and hours.
And it's also just like, you think it'd be kind of easy, but like, you want to put thought into like, what's the best clip that represents this thing, especially for like, stuff like part 4 and 5, where it's like 24 episodes of a show. You're like, which one do you go for? And for the most part, I usually went with like the first episode because you can find a good clip in there that represents it. But I was more than happy to help in that regard because you had first asked about it, and I'm like, I've never had too much experience with clipping. But then the gears start turning. I'm like, yeah, but I should probably try that though. So I just kind of got the hang of that and ended up enjoying it quite a bit. That was also a fun aspect, just trying to find little clips here and there to pick that we could have watched more of if I had not spent an amount of time complaining about one specific Lupin series that went over.
See, that's the beauty of having co-panelists, and especially me on a panel, because I'm trying to be, and I try and do this with my ensemble panels where I try and keep everybody as focused as possible, because I know I have a tendency to ramble, so that means that other people might have a tendency to ramble. Certainly not Drew, of course. That would never happen.
Heavens no.
But no, I think even under the circumstances, we probably overclipped, to be honest. There was probably some things we didn't need to necessarily show, but that happens to me in every single one of my panels. And I'm like, it's better to have more stuff. I think it's maybe better to have a little bit more than you need and have to skip one or two things than ending 15 minutes early.
Oh, yeah. And you never know until you're up there and actually running it, because sometimes you can speak a little more quickly sometimes than you realize. And I feel like my general formula, like with the movie panels, to side tangent for 2 seconds, is like I take my time allotment, so like an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, and then I'll like divide that by the amount of movies I would like to talk about, and then like divide how many clips I can show in that time frame, and also still have time to talk about each one. And I still go over.
Well, you nailed it pretty well during the horror panel this time around. I thought you were perfectly on time. Yeah,
well, thank you.
So many movies added to my letterbox list. Like, a lot of, like a few times I was like, "Ooh, I've seen that one, banger." But then there's one I'm like, "Oh, that's going on that's going on the list."
And like you said, it's like, what clip do you cut to make sure, especially with horror movies, because it's like you want to get the person watching engaged, but you don't want to give away the big, like, exciting scenes of it. And then in my mind, I was like, oh yeah, I just got to sit down and watch like a movie and clip it, how long is that going to take? And then I literally was working on the panel up until the day that we left.
Yeah. Common panelist problems.
I know. I also watched a bunch of new movies this time around too, because I wanted to. It had been a while since I had presented anything, because I took last year off, or was it the year before?
Last year off, because we were not featured last year because we just didn't have.
A bunch of us couldn't go.
Yeah. And then I did some panels just for fun, like not as a featured thing. I did my Baby Metal, and then I think the two trivia panels. But that was it. That was all, quote unquote, we did last year.
Yes.
Oh, you were my runner for my trivia panels, which is the most important job of all.
But I remember sitting up there on Saturday night and looking at you and being like, I don't think I can do this. I'm very nervous. I'm gonna like pass out. Which is always
grabs
what
your
happens.
Face. Believe in the me that believes in you.
Exactly. But then like I get up there and I start going, and then people laugh, and I'm like, I've got this. Don't worry about it. If they don't like it, they can leave. Go run your own panel.
Exactly. Build your own dang panel.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing that I will always take with me as good advice from our previous co-host Tobias, where he says, if you don't like this panel, you can submit your own next year.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you have a problem with the way I'm doing things, hey, come up here and do it yourself.
Yes. That was the first time in a while too that I had a handful of people come up and they were like, have you seen this? I was like, no, but I had thought about watching it. And so I've got a pretty decent list of movies in my phone right now for next time.
Yes. Yes.
Did you have any other observations about being on the Lupin panel, Drew? Anything that surprised you, or?
Yeah. On Thursday when I was, attending the Baby Metal panel, at a certain point, I was very nervous at first when I realized the setting, but I settled into it and just remembered, because I'm going to be up there like on a stage presenting, but I'm also going to be up there with Austin, Sully, and Bill, who we already have a pretty established rapport with, going back to the last few holiday specials we've done. So honestly, that reassured me as well. And then getting up there to do it, it was just like recording one of those episodes, essentially, just in a public setting, which I greatly enjoyed.
In front of a live studio audience.
Indeed. And again, like Tori said, you make a joke and people laugh. And my first thought is me being just like, really? I thought that was funny. All right, man.
I'm the little jester now.
It's like, guys, I'm not. That wasn't funny, guys. Don't. It's like, don't humor my bad jokes. I'm kidding. But that I really enjoyed it. We had a really solid turnout. With some mega fans, it seemed like, of Lupin. I know one person chimed in with a deep cut bit of knowledge, and I was like, oh dang, that's a real one, like one of us.
Well, come to think of it, I do not consciously recall, this doesn't mean this has never happened, but I don't recall seeing any Lupin the Third panels on the Animazement schedule ever in the past. So this might have been something that, was an underserved sort of niche that we brought something to. I don't know. I could be making more of a big deal out of it than I need to, but yeah, I don't recall. Whereas, some topics you see panels about like constantly, like all the time. But Lupin is just not one that I've seen. There's been plenty of Lupin screenings at Animazement over the years, but never, not a panel to my knowledge. Yeah.
And it ultimately ended up being just a real fun time. It was, as it was mentioned, I appreciate Austin reining me in when we got to part 6. I know you highly encouraged me to go off on part 6, but you also were kind enough to tell me to shut the heck up at a certain point. It was just nice, especially Exactly. We all need it sometimes.
Exactly.
It was fun to talk about stuff like, the terrible 2014 live action film and have Sully chime in, the costume design. Costume design's pretty good.
Yeah.
Casting it's fun, and that's about it.
The way I put it in my notes is like it's a really bad sign when the best part of your movie is the end credits.
I know. God. And even then, like the end credits themselves are good, but I didn't get to mention in the panel, I don't like the theme song from that movie at all. And I think it's Hote, the guitarist who did Battles Without Honor and Humanity that's used in Kill Bill. And he's a talented musician, but that theme is so repetitive. Goodness.
Well, I guess it does say something that I have absolutely no recollection of that theme whatsoever.
Oh, you don't remember the part where it goes, which is literally how the theme opens, and it happens repeatedly in the song, and it makes me want to claw my hair out.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I somewhat have a recollection, but apparently not one well enough that it stayed in the forefront of my mind, and you had to go in there and fish it out.
Had to relive that memory. I like that we spent a lot of time on The Woman Called Fujiko Mine in particular, because that's a series that, I feel like doesn't get, I say that, but like deserves its flowers for kickstarting the entire Renaissance into gear. That's part 4 in the Koike films are a big deal, but that is really what kind of reignited the whole thing and got the producer at TMS, Yu Kiyozono, kind of really got the ball rolling on the franchise doing interesting things again, and sometimes terrible things. But hey,
and really, as I was going through, our conversation in the panel, and we didn't rehearse anything ahead of time. I was just kind of relying on everyone's sort of collective knowledge. I was thinking, like, man, there's an entire panel just with The Woman Called Fujiko Mine in of itself. Whether you talk about the meta production of it, like all the people involved with creating it, or all the stuff in the show itself, and how it like pays homage to the lineage of what's established in many entries of Lupin the Third, and also like subverts it and plays with it at the same time. There's just a ton going on in that series.
Yeah, it's especially, I know, because we talked a little bit about, there's stuff like a big hot button issue with it to this day still is Inspector Zenigata in it. The Zenigata stands are mixed on that show, to say the least. And as I said during the panel, I really appreciate what Yamamoto and Okada are going for with his character. And I think it's a lot more thoughtful than I think it sometimes gets credit for. With some hardcore fans, that will make it sound like it's the whole swath of people who watch it. But that really could, and especially, which we didn't get much into because, we kind of avoided big spoilers, but the ending of The Woman Called Fujiko Mine is also incredibly divisive, and is also Yamamoto and Okada having a big message about, the idea that a character like Fujiko Mine, for her to be as promiscuous and such a cold thief as she is, surely she must have this horribly traumatic backstory to cause this. And it's kind of not to get into huge spoilers, but it's kind of a outright refutation of that notion, which I find very interesting. And that also bugs some people because they're like, so the whole show was about nothing because this whole time those flashbacks weren't real. And it's like, there's a lot more going on there. And once again, I am rambling about a Lupin thing, and Austin, you got to stop me.
True. You cut yourself off, and I'm going to help you.
Oh gosh.
Tori, you did something very interesting at this convention. You cosplayed a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you organized a group cosplay.
Yes, I did. I have not been able to orchestrate such a plan before, and the fact that it all came together relatively easy, I was so proud of everybody for, like, they would ask me what they needed to do, and then they would just do it. That way, the stuff that they genuinely couldn't do, I could do. So, like, a lot of the wigs and whatnot. Everybody
kids listening at home, don't sign up to be in a cosplay group unless you mean it.
Will you wear wigs?
Exactly. Well, everybody's gonna be after, this Animazement. So I got everybody in on my brain worms. I infected them with my brain worms and was able to orchestrate a Chainsaw Man group on Saturday. And
I was there. You got me to cosplay for the first time in like a decade.
You cosplayed with me 2 out of the 3 days, and
right on.
I can't believe I almost had you for 3, and then I was like, you know what? Let me give you a pass because this was already near impossible for me to get you to do.
Listen, cosplaying on a Sunday is only for the most hardcore, and I guess
I
I'm
got
just not
ready
that
in
hardcore.
an hour, and 30 minutes of that was waiting on my prop to get there. Okay, thank you, Will.
Nice.
Anyway,
and yet you got a massive migraine at the end of the day. So was it really worth it?
It was that wig. Okay, it was so bad. Listen, I served, and that is the price I paid. Okay,
you served justice.
I did serve justice. And I felt so. No, the migraine was the price to pay. It really sucked, but we cosplayed on Friday as James and Maria from Silent Hill 2.
That was fun.
OG designs. And then Saturday was the Chainsaw Man group, which I got you to cosplay Denji, and I was Makima.
That was also fun.
Yes, that's like legitimately the most comfortable cosplay ever because it's just a shirt and some pants.
Mm-hmm.
And then
my notes for next time is that I didn't buy the cosplay Denji shoes. I bought like a pair of like off-brand whatever Jordans or whatever they're supposed to be.
Your Jordans are knockoffs. No, they're not.
Yeah, exactly. And then I used like red piping tape, like really thin, like 1/4-inch tape to do the red lines on the shoes. But probably next time between now and the next convention, I'll just paint it because the tape held mostly okay. I will say,
it did pretty good.
I would like for it to be a little bit more sturdy, but anyway.
So proud of you though for taking the initiative to try that without
Thank you. I did the bare minimum.
But I would probably paint them. But then on Sunday, I cosplayed a gender-bent Higuruma from Jujutsu Kaisen, and I almost had you on the hook for Nanami, so we would have been like the 2 biggest LARPers at the convention, obviously.
You'll get me there. I've got all the stuff, so it'll happen.
I know. I meticulously styled that wig, okay?
And I'm going to say it right now, like I would have been a huge phony because I've only seen the Jujutsu Kaisen movie and season 3 to completion, so which is all notably material that Nanami is not in.
Oh no.
What was it like just watching the movie in season 3, Austin? What's your take?
Well, as I've said to Tori multiple times, I'm just like, I've seen this before. I watched Bleach when I was a kid. Because especially season 3 felt a lot to me like I mean, I like many good citizens stopped watching Bleach after season 3, which is the way. But a lot of it is just like a weirdo shows up and you fight the weirdo. And then you move on to the next weirdo. And that's exactly what season 3 was. Although I did enjoy it. It was fun.
Good.
I've got to catch up. I'm so behind. I've told Austin and Tori, I watched season 1. I really enjoyed it. I watched the first half of season 2, really enjoyed it. We got to the Shibuya incident. I remember most of it. It was miserable. complimentary. But then the back half of the Shibuya incident was a particularly stressful era at work. And I arrived home extremely tired, and we waited until too late to watch each episode. And I know I just like drifted out of, this plane of existence a few times while we were watching it.
Oh, no.
And so when we went to see the IMAX compilation film of the Shibuya incident, I was like, oh, cool. It'll be like, the whole arc condensed into a movie. And it wasn't a whole arc. It was specifically like the back half of the arc that I had completely like missed. So while we're sitting there, I'm like, I don't remember any of this. What's going on? Like, oh man, I'm so lost.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna have to go back and relive that whole arc again. Which
no. I will be leaving the room when Austin gets there and be like, "Hey, you're on your own, buddy."
Oh, you're like Gonzo and Rizzo and the Muppet Christmas Carol when the ghost of the future shows up. They're just like, hey, we're peacing out.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh.
No, that wasn't Gonzo. That was the actual author, Charles Dickens.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yes. No, I was joking the other day with Austin about how if I had a time machine and I went back to 15-year-old me and was like, hey, you're never going to believe that 3 of your most favorite pieces of media are all shonen slop. Isn't that crazy?
It's pretty crazy.
Anyway, a lot of good cosplay this year.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Drew, I do have to give a little bit of meta talk. So I know on your program, you talk about Lupin the Third. Mm-hmm. Do your listeners know that you like and enjoy other anime that's not Lupin the Third? Yes. I've actually made a bit of a concentrated effort on the show. A lot of times, our show has evolved in the 5 years we've been doing it. We used to just kind of just meat and potatoes. We just get right into whatever we're talking about and just review the Lupin thing. But more recently, we've done it. We've flirted with it a few times, but this year we've been committing to it. For just the first chunk of the episode, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's a whole hour. We just talk about what we've been watching and reading, just other non-Lupin things to show hey guys, we're normal. We don't I don't spend my every waking moment watching Lupin. Thank goodness.
I would lose my mind.
I close my eyes. I see Lupin behind my eyelids. I open my eyes. There is Lupin.
Lupin stole my eyes.
Oh my lord.
No, I look. I love Lupin the Third with all of my heart. It's one of my favorite things in the world. It is also. Man cannot live on Lupin alone. I'll just say that much.
That's what they say.
Teach a man to Lupin.
but you can't teach him to, the drill.
Gosh.
But
you gotta break a few Lupins to
make a
omelet.
omelet. Gosh dang.
There's a lot of great stuff in there, and there's a lot of that was a weekly produced anime in the 1970s and 1980s, and that was a yearly conveyor belt TV special. All right. So we do spend some time to be hey guys, here's other things. We touch grass, we watch other things, we go outside. We're normal, I think. Allegedly.
Oh my gosh.
We used to do that on the podcast way back, and then we realized, we spent way too much time yapping, and by the time we get into the actual topic of the episode, our throats are sore, we're tired, it's 3 hours long, it's just blah, 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 blah. And that's why we have Kotatsu Corner that we never do.
Ooh. Well, Hey, you do sometimes. I was there for one of the last ones.
That's true. That's true. We should do another one. Anyway.
Yes. Man, tomorrow comes up next year.
Locking back in. My goal for next year is to get everybody to do another group cosplay.
Ooh.
Is it going to be Jujutsu Kaisen? I feel like that would be easy because most of it is just menswear. So hello. And I feel like if I just spam the pleading emoji enough, I probably could get people in on a Gachiakata group cosplay, but that feels a lot more complicated.
Yeah. It would be a lot more complicated. Those outfits are a little crazy.
I know.
I
have high
Gachiakata.
hopes. So good. But yeah, lots of good cosplay. I know we're probably going to actually aside on guests, but we had a very funny interaction on Saturday. If I can sidebar about that for a moment.
Go ahead.
I am so thankful that everybody in the group came to the autograph lines with me as my emotional support animals. Because I was very scared, and we went to go meet Sarah Weidenheft and Reagan Murdock. Yeah. And you and I walked up, and he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, hi, Miss Makima. Go away, Denji."
I was never more happy to go away than at that moment.
That made me laugh, and I will remember that forever. That was probably one of my very favorite, or one of my few favorite, guest interactions that I've had when I very rarely get to go meet a voice actor while cosplaying from the thing that they are in. And it's always really funny when they take a moment to acknowledge that, I guess.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because at some point in this very long episode, you will get to hear a really brief interview that I did with Reagan Murdock, and he was a delightful person to give me some time to answer a couple questions. So enjoy. I'm here on the floor of Animazement 2026 with the incredibly talented and cool guy Reagan Murdock, who you might know from the Chainsaw Man English dub. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. Have you been to Animazement before?
No, first time. I've been to Raleigh before once, but this is my first Animazement.
What other convention were you here for in Raleigh?
I believe it was GalaxyCon Raleigh a few years ago. Yeah.
Cool.
I met Steve from Blue's Clues for the first time there, and I had a real bit of a childhood relapse, so that was awesome.
Yeah, I know he's kind of on a healing tour to kind of revisit his his former children who are now grown up and suffering in our own unique ways.
A little too close to home there. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But I appreciate he's doing that. But how does is there anything in particular about Animazement that's standing out to you as compared to other conventions, or is it kind of the same old stuff?
I will say the cosplay game at this show is really good.
Okay.
There's usually in most conventions you'll get a moderate amount of cosplay.
Right.
Some of them more casual than others, but there's so many just incredibly well done costumes this year. I'm so impressed with it. Artist Alley is also super great. I didn't know that this show's been going on for 30 years.
Yeah, it's one of the OGs on the East Coast.
Yeah,
it's been around. It's a little bit understated, I think, compared to stuff like Anime Weekend Atlanta or MomoCon, who's is happening literally right now.
Right. But I'll take understated, honestly.
Right. Good. I mean, sometimes it's good to have a relaxing convention experience.
I'm also an introvert among introverts, so
heard. I totally understand. I have a podcast just to get out my extrovertedness through a very controlled mechanism.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of why I voice act, honestly.
Heard. So, on that voice acting question, you play Aki in Chainsaw Man, obviously.
That's the one.
Your performance is awesome.
Oh, thank you.
What was it like having that movie sort of take the world by storm fairly recently in the theaters?
We were expecting people to enjoy it. We didn't know that it was going to just blow up like that.
Yeah.
We read the manga, several years ago, and we just knew that this was going to be just an incredibly special part of it. Reze arc is probably my favorite section of the manga.
Yes.
And just to see it animated so well, the shot composition was amazing. The music just takes your breath away. Once we saw it, when we were recording it, we got to see bits and pieces of it here and there, and we were just oh man, this is gonna this is gonna change the world.
This is gonna destroy people emotionally and also delight them endlessly.
That's Chainsaw Man for you.
Exactly. Like I watched it twice in theaters, and both English dub both times, of course, just to hear you naturally.
Appreciate it, of course.
And then we watched it at home somewhat recently because it's finally on Crunchyroll, and I'm just like, man, I need that Blu-ray. So Crunchyroll, if you're listening, which I know you are, of course. Get us that 4K ASAP, so I can bring Reagan something to sign. So it was a really beautiful movie, and especially the Aki and Angel stuff. I'm sure fans bring that up a lot to you about being like very emotionally resonant, especially like all of the things that Aki goes through, just in the general, like in what we've seen animated so far, and also what is to come. So is there any particular moments you're really looking forward to if they continue to adapt it, which I hope they will?
Oh, well, there's only so much I'm going to be able to talk about. Because they really don't want me putting spoilers out there.
Oh, that totally makes sense.
I will say, let's see.
You can dance around it.
We can dance around it a little bit. There's one scene that I know that any manga reader right now listening to this already knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
That one that I'm looking forward to and also not looking forward to.
Of course.
Honestly, a lot of the scenes that I am looking forward to, especially this coming season, aren't really Aki's.
Okay.
I love me some Shuanchi.
Yes.
There's a certain scene with Power and Kobeni that people need to look forward to.
Oh, yes, of course. A certain burger-related scene.
Certain burger-related one.
Yes, of course.
There's one with some astronauts in there. That's
some very Evangelion-esque imagery.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point about Aki and Angel's, character arc, I feel like the movie is a really good, like, I don't know, climax or like ending to that character arc from the first season. Because in the first season, so much of Aki's character arc has to do
babysitting.
Well, babysitting, yes, but also his contention with his own feelings of, I guess, worthlessness.
Right.
Because he basically, every devil that he summons, causes him to harm himself in some way.
Right.
He's got to, cut off his hair. He's got the, the forearm stuff.
And losing Himeno on top of all of that.
Oh, yeah. And it's all, and I could go on for hours about this.
Right.
What I love is the way that the Fox Devil is such a great symbol for the ego, because it'll only allow people who are physically attractive to summon its head, and it's kind of like a nice metaphor for the kind of exterior that Aki is putting together. This image that he's carefully cultivating to not only seem like he's worthwhile to the Devil Hunter Agency, so he can get on that Gun Devil mission, but also to himself, to tell himself that he's in control. He's got this. He's got everything he needs. And then Denji and Power come into his life, and he loses control entirely.
Right. So it's some things you just can't control.
Yeah, exactly.
Life comes at you fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful character arc in the first season of him learning slowly that he does matter, and just him. His life in and of itself has value.
Right.
And I love that. That's a great message, especially for young people nowadays.
Right.
It feels like Chainsaw Man really just speaks to young people in a way that like very few other things right now do.
Right. And Fujimoto's storytelling style, it's like he's doing kind of a where he knows when to be goofy, and he also knows when to play with these really big themes.
Yeah.
And he can be very like, because everything with the devils is so like Faustian, so he's like playing with like very classic tropes and things like that.
Yeah.
But also he knows when to have a silly goofy time and put Kobeni and Power in the car and stuff like that. So he's just very, very talented at threading that needle.
Absolutely.
Well, it was an absolute pleasure talking to today. And one last thing I like to ask voice actors: is there anything that the fans can do for you all as people in like an industry that has issues to be able to be better fans for folks like you that work in this space?
Oh, well, number one, just the fact that you're there at all is it is a gigantic blessing. Thank you so much for being there for enjoying this art that we love as well. Honestly, I just come on out to conventions and stuff. This is the studio time that we get doesn't pay a whole lot.
Right.
We make up the most of our income through conventions.
Right.
If you do want to come out, if you do want to support us there, or if you just want to say hi, we would be so happy to do that. Honestly, just keep being you. And limit your AI consumption.
Absolutely. This is a very negative AI podcast. The people have heard an earful, and they will continue to hear an earful more. So thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
And I also was able to do the same with Kamen Casey, who is a big, probably one of his big characters is from Blue Lock. And I also got the chance to speak with him a little bit as well.
Kamen Casey seemed very friendly. Like every time I walked by that sort of area of the artist, or not the artist alley, the dealer's room, his interactions were very pleasant.
Yeah, very
Nice.
energetic, very positive guy.
I had also had an autograph line support person, unintentionally, but delightfully so, at the line for Toshio Furukawa, where I was with Jake from Kamonegi Panels, and also in the Third Impact server. We just got to chat for a good little while that line was going, and that was delightful. That was nice to have.
Yeah, Jake is a wonderful co-panelist that runs the circuit with us pretty regularly. He's also runs the AMV circuit and won a couple awards this year, so good for Jake.
Ooh, nice.
Congrats.
So yeah, and he also does convention reviews over on YouTube, and I will definitely put a link to his Animazement one in the show notes.
Nice.
I just keep Jake around because he lets me borrow his pin light at the idol shows.
Ooh, that's a good segue. Do you want to talk about the masquerade?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. See,
Gotta get this one out of the way first and
Yes.
foremost. The Best in Show was a Little Witch Academia group done by I'm gonna get their name, but anyway, go ahead, Tori.
They were precious. They were so good.
Yeah.
Typically, I don't go to the actual proper Animazement masquerade. Like, I think maybe the first couple years I attended, I went. But Drew, you, and Becca, and then our friend Dylan wanted to go. And I was like, you know what? I need to sit down. I'm so glad I went with you guys. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
And there was such a... Go ahead.
That group was called Mystic Dream Idols.
Thank you. There was such a good variety of like things represented. Somehow though, there was like 3 Danganronpa skits, which I think is really funny in 2026.
For some reason, that doesn't surprise me at all.
No, I know. And I kept we kept laughing at, I couldn't see that far back. I don't know about y'all, but, they, I guess, had a string of beads, like a necklace, and they broke it on stage. And the MC kept, like, every other introduction was like, there's beads on the stage. Come on, guys.
We gotta pick up them beads.
This is a safety issue.
Safety first at Animazement. Gotta pick up these beads.
And it was so funny. And I don't think they ever came back, or if they did, it was for like 2 seconds.
Well,
and
the poor MC guy was like running all over the place, picking them all up. And I think his insistence and repeating the pick up these beads like it's a safety issue was like maybe like a subtle dig at the people for having not cleaned up their mess.
Oh gosh, it had to have been, yeah. But I think the skits that stuck out to me, there was a really good Perfect Blue one that I thought was really cool.
That was cool.
There was a really lovely Utena one. Which I think I remember seeing that group post on Facebook that somebody dropped out of theirs at the last minute, and they had to completely revamp it like the day of, which I think is insane. Wow. Yes. And then there was one that stuck out to me because I felt like it was made for me specifically, where a group of Gachiakuta cosplayers did flawless choreo to one of my favorite K-pop songs, and they killed it.
Yeah.
What song was that again?
It was Dirty Work by aespa.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, perfect.
That's a good pun.
Yes. Yeah.
Real bad business.
That's dirty work.
Exactly.
I mean, like, shout out to those people, dude, because like I said, you know, I struggle with public speaking, like, let alone I cannot imagine, like, you know, doing like dance choreography or putting myself out there like that. Like, man, like, just shout out to those people for having, you know, the courage to be up there doing that, man.
Yes,
and just having a ball.
Mm-hmm. And the audience is always so supportive because, like, but even though, like, you could tell that maybe they should not have practiced, or sorry, even though you could tell that they maybe, well, no, but they did not practice maybe as much as they should have. The crowd was still like completely supportive. Yeah. And I also just remembered there was that crazy ass skit where it was the crossover between Full Metal Alchemist and Spy Family. That was insane.
Okay.
What the hell?
Okay. We have to set the stage for this one so that I can... Okay.
Oh, no.
You're right. That one was really good. It was sort of a joke about Shao Tucker meeting Anya Forger and wanting to be like, ooh, I had a daughter and you reminded me of her. Oh, you have a dog? Interesting. And I'm of the opinion that Shao Tucker jokes have been overdone and dead and annoying and not funny for 15 years.
A long time.
Really long time.
That horse is dust now. You're not even seeing the dead horse anymore.
Honestly.
It's beaten sand.
So whenever they started doing that, I was about to just, I was so like tuned out. But then as it went along, they made it work. And I'm just like, I'm declaring this as if I'm any kind of authority. That's the last Shao Tucker joke, and we're done now.
No one can ever do it again, please.
No.
That's it. The your punchline really kind of brought it over to like, okay, now that's good. You landed the plane.
It worked. It was
good job.
They did land the plane. That's a great way to put it. So whoever that group was, shout out to you for making the last Shao Tucker joke.
They looked like they legitimately might have been a family, and that tickles me even more because it was a small child and the two adults, and I was like, oh, so cute.
Yes, and they did the pre-recorded track and everything, and you could tell that it was like an actual little girl delivering the lines for Anya. Very, very, very well done. Very great high production value.
Yes.
And while most of the performances in the Masquerade were like idle dances or what have you, there weren't that many skits. The skits that they did have, I thought were pretty solid. I know that there's kind of like an inherent sort of cringiness to this whole like theater kid thing, and you know, I say that as a former theater kid, so I get to say it. But it was all just very delightful, and you could tell throughout every single performance, people really put their heart into it. And I think that we just need that sort of raw positivity, like the fact that they went up there and they did a thing, and it was so much, thought put into it, into the performance, into the outfits, into the planning, and that's a lot of hard work. So I've grown really fond of masquerades in the past couple years since we've been going.
Yeah, because you always have that subset of people that'll be like, well, this is stupid, this is corny. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see you get up there.
Once again,
and do all that.
You get up there and do it.
Exactly.
It is like, corny, endearing.
Right. Like, it's just people having pure fun despite the stress that it takes to get there to do that. So...
And I think of how much work it takes for me to sit alone in my room to make a panel, much less like trying to coordinate with a whole bunch of people and get all that stuff together. So,
yep.
Drew, were there any other fan panels that you saw that you enjoyed?
The only non Third Impact panel that I got to make it to was Jake's panel for science and anime, which I really really enjoyed. And man, that panel like was a fully packed house. Like we got in there and there was like a few seats left, and then they completely filled up. And it was just really just cool and informative. And now I've got another list of sciencey anime to watch. Specifically, I really need to get on Cells at Work. Cells at Work seems really fun.
It is.
And Orb as well. I really want to watch Orb. I've heard nothing but good things about that. That was just fun and informative. Every one of your guys' panel I went to, I just absolutely loved it. From the baby metal panel, feeling ancient at the 10 years later anime. Because specifically for me, 2016 is the year I got fully into anime. That's when I got my Blu-ray of the Castle of Cagliostro. That's when I signed up for Crunchyroll for the first time. So I was like, oh yeah, Mob Psycho was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yuri on Ice was 10 years ago. It's like, oh God. And
Zero. Erased. So many. So many.
And
Bananya.
Mike Tools Bananya.
Yes. Like Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, it is Mike Tools Bananya.
Retroactively, we are declaring it. And then obviously Tori's J-horror panel was awesome. And also I really liked, sometimes the lighting situation is different for each panel. I really captured that nice balance of it being just light enough but dark to have that spooky vibe to it, which really lent to the atmosphere of it. I really dug that. That was great.
You've done that just about every time that you've done that panel.
Okay, so a peek behind the curtains. Whenever I have to present by myself, I like to have the lights turned down because it makes me less nervous. And because the computer in front of me is so bright that I typically can't see the people out in the audience.
Computer,
nice.
Turn the lights down.
Computer, make these people invisible. But yeah, it's usually not such a big deal up there with anybody else. But it definitely helps set the stage, I think.
Yeah, it's that spooky vibe going.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved both of Sully's panels, the Japanese film panel. Again, adding stuff to my watch list. I have actively bought a few of the films on that panel on Blu-ray because I'm me. So I got some of those. The David Lynch in Japan panel was beautiful. I really, really enjoyed that one. Learned a lot of stuff that I didn't know in that one.
That was the first time Sully had done that one, and he clearly had done a lot of research, as I expect from him. And it was really, really great.
And then I loved going to the Conscious Collecting panel the day after I had spent an amount of money I will not disclose on air on Blu-rays and stickers. And then being like, oh, it's that, that Arrested Development, I made a huge mistake.
How much could one Blu-ray be, Michael? God. Yes, I was very proud of Sully for his David Lynch panel. I have never seen a room so captivated. Except those knuckleheads behind us.
Yes.
You know what though? Yes, exactly. Go ahead. I'll chime in after.
Well, I did have to be a adult with a capital A, and after a while
you were
of them just yapping a lot during the panel, to where we could hear them, and it was very distracting. I did have to turn around and say, guys, you really got to stop talking. It's very distracting. And thankfully they did shut up after that.
It wasn't so bad at first because they were legitimately conversating about what was being presented. But then it started, it started well, what are we going to do? And and I'm like, shut the hell up, please.
There's a lot of giggling too, and so I will say to those individuals, if you are listening, you got the kind end of it. Austin was very mature, more mature than I would have been, and more less explicit in his language than I would have been. So props to Austin for being the adult.
Yes.
Well, I do have the
He's
gift
my
of
nice filter.
I have the gift of diplomacy, and I try and use it only for good and never for evil.
Good. That's good.
Good.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I was mildly worried about Sunday, though, for our collecting panel, because it was at 10:30 on
Very
Sunday,
early.
which is like the prime time everybody's trying to like get out of the freaking hotel. But we had about a half full room, and the audience was completely engaged.
Yeah.
And I thank you so much to Sully, because I think we had a very like good cop, bad cop sort of dynamic. And I was nervous at first because I was like, oh no, we're like almost done. And then we just kept talking. And then I was like, oh no, we're almost done. And I got like 4 more slides left.
I think the way that you weaved it all together by using the Garfield collecting like how-to
that was
video
great.
was a really good
Nobody
comedic
laughed
flourish.
at that, but it made me laugh, and that's all that matters.
Well, that's the art of paneling, right? It has to first and foremost, you're making a panel for you. Second of all, you're making a panel for the people.
Yeah. But that was probably the first time that I've had a panel with really good audience engagement at the end. Like quite a few people chiming in and being like, well, this is what I've done. And somebody was talking about being in kind of a dead fandom. And so basically like they've... I don't even know what word to use, but basically, like, you have to make the fandom yourself because, like,
was it the
nobody's
person that was talking about
Bakugan, I think.
Bakugan?
Yeah, and their input was very fascinating, and they brought up a great point of, like, well, we hardly get anything, so of course I'm going to buy this really expensive anniversary item because I can, and, like, I want to show them that people will buy this and hopefully sway them. And I'm like, that's a great point. And some people asked some questions that I definitely will be probably including in the next iteration of all of that. So that one was fun. I don't know if I would run that one solo, but definitely was a lot of fun.
It's a good conversational panel. I think the fact that the two of you were up there doing it together made it flow.
Yeah.
Whereas like a lot of my stuff is very like lecture-y, but I tend to need to break it up with video clips so that I don't get sick of my own voice and by extension make other people sick.
I thought, man, isn't it a scourge? Like you listen to yourself talk. I know when I edit like Sideburns, like I start talking and I hear myself, I'm like, would you shut up? Like, stop, don't chime in. Like, just hush.
I guess I used to feel that way early on, but now, I've edited so many of these gosh darn things. I'm just like, you know what? You may not be a perfect podcaster, Austin, but you are definitely all right.
I need to get there. I'll get there one day.
You will.
I hate it during allergy season, especially like right now.
What do you need?
I know. Or sometimes I'll hear myself and I'm like, dang, the Southern really hit on that one.
I feel that as well. There'll be sometimes there'll be like just a phrase and you're like, oh Lord. Like, oh
night,
man.
Yeah. Bye, y'all. That's really what I sound like if I don't try to like consciously rein it in.
Of course. And I will say another thing about panels and interaction. Probably one of the best post-panel experiences that I've ever had happened on Thursday night after my Baby Metal panel. A member of the audience came up and gave me 5 USPS priority mail stickers that are mostly just blank. You're supposed to like put the addresses on them or whatever, but a lot of artists will use them to draw art on and like stick them places. And they gave them to me and said, I drew these. Would you like one? And they were some of the most incredible like marker drawings of the Baby Metal girls that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, I cannot believe that you did this. And now you are here gifting me one of these. Like, this is so incredibly cool. And I will put a link to the picture of all of them in the show notes, but like shout out to that person, Cora Hoshi. Thank you so much for that gift. It's one of the highlights of my con. Absolutely.
That's cool. That's cool. And and I almost forgot. The last panel that I attended before I had to start heading back home was Austin's 10 anime movies you might have missed, which I also thoroughly enjoyed.
What did you think of what did you think of that?
More movies in my watch list that look very cool.
Heck yeah.
That was another
Especially
one.
The Punk Cat in Space. That looked really neat.
Yes, Tamala 2010 is a super weird one. That is very prescient to our modern times, I believe. But that panel, I also I've done that panel 1,000 billion million times. It's one of my like rotational panels that I do pretty much every year. But this time, almost all of the movies that were in it were movies that had not been in the panel before. So I took that as an opportunity to rewatch some stuff that I hadn't watched in a long time, like Dead Leaves. And like, man, Dead Leaves, whenever I watched it for the first time, back probably a decade ago, I was just like, this is fun, but I kind of like Trigger's other stuff better. But going back to watch it now, I have like a brand new appreciation for how like beautiful it is, even though it's disgusting and crass and so many fart jokes.
This is all right. Turns on panty and stocking.
And like pee-pee jokes and poo-poo jokes and sex jokes. It's just all full of that. It's like a more id version of panty and stocking, if such a thing could even be possible. But it's also incredible. So I got to show the group some Dead Leaves, and then also a whole bunch of other things that are nothing like Dead Leaves at all. Like 100 meters.
I've got to see that one too. That looked gorgeous. But I will say that the impact of your panel, when you like the way you kind of hyped up Dead Leaves, I was like, I think I saw that at Otaku Market, and literally like I told Becca, I'm like, I'll be right back right after you ended the panel, and I like scooted down to the dealer's room, weaved my way through, and got that $12 Dead Leaves DVD. I'm like, it's still here.
Heck yeah!
So I managed to grab that.
And it's a dirt cheap DVD too. Like I don't think they ever released a Blu-ray, unfortunately, because it is a very beautiful movie. But that DVD you can get on eBay for like nothing.
And I also like the portion where you opened it up to the floor to recommend some movies on their own. And then I walked up and with great restraint didn't put like the mic right to my mouth and be like, you guys look Lupin the Third.
You use it as an opportunity to talk about something different.
Yeah, I watch other things. Another guy with sideburns, that this guy's in space.
So it's not really that different.
No. But that was a nice panel to end on. Again, just the way you guys host those panels is like you run such a tight ship, and it's always engaging. It's basically like just getting to see one of your episodes live in person. I had so much fun at each one of those. The only thing I regret was I didn't get to make it to Bill's failed anime franchises panel, which I'm still kicking myself for. So.
No, I gotta say, just as a disclaimer, we did not invite Drew on here just to gas us up. I promise.
I was about to say, I'm cutting his check right now.
Well, I didn't invite him on. Tori did, so hope the check doesn't bounce. But yes, Bill did a fantastic job with his failed anime franchises panel, and I really hope that he does it again because it's got a great premise to it. It's basically the idea is he's talking about anime franchises that have struggled to really catch in the United States or have had like a really rocky road. Not necessarily stuff that's unpopular, but stuff that's just had a tough go. So he talked about like Detective Conan and Pretty Cure and Saint Seiya, big stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really great panel.
I got to be the official Pretty Cure expert.
You did.
Nice.
You gave him the butt scene or something.
Yes, the butt punch.
The butt punch.
I'm not elaborating. Go ahead.
Elaborate on
punch.
that. No.
No elaboration. No.
No.
「的な
folks. It's Austin again. I'm back. And now I'm on the floor with another pretty cool guy here at Animazement 2026. It's Kamen Casey. How are you?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me. I'm doing good, having a blast out here.
Great.
Animazement.
Have you ever been to Animazement before?
First time to Raleigh, first time here.
Okay, but have you been to North Carolina before?
No, first time.
Oh shoot. Okay. Well, I hope we're making a decent first impression.
Yeah, it's a good time. A lot of good food.
Good. Has anybody gotten you like barbecue or cheer wine yet?
Yes. They said that was the first thing I had to do when I got here.
Good. It is very important. When in Rome, and all that good stuff. So you are primarily known for your character in Blue Lock, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that what most people come to talk to you about?
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken off. It's funny because when I first got him, got the email that I booked him, I was like, "What is this?" We were all auditioning for Chainsaw Man at the time. It was like everyone's, "Oh my God, the next Attack on Titan is coming!" And so we were all freaking out, trying to do our best job auditioning. Right. Weeks go by, I realize I didn't book it. I'm like, "Dang!" So feeling kind of down, and all of a sudden I get an email that says, "Jonathan Rigg wants to cast you as Reo Mikage in Blue Lock." I'm like, "What the hell is that?" I'm just happy to work. Yes, first of all, yes, I'll be there.
Of course.
And then it's like research time. Okay, Googling. I'm like, wait a minute. Get the manga. Wait a minute. This guy's, he's going to be around a while. This is a real deal. Because usually 6-7 weeks into a show, and probably a 12 episode is what you're assuming. You're probably a brother, some cousin, third henchman or something.
Student number 4.
Student number 4, right? And so I was shocked at how much life this guy has.
Yeah. So whenever you did check it out for the first time in manga form, is that something that you typically do whenever you land a role? Do you always go do hyper research, or do you kind of let it speak for itself whenever you get into the booth?
Oh, I go straight to research, man.
Okay.
I can't. I'm too curious. I have to know what's going to go on. I want to know what's coming. And it doesn't for me, it helps me as an actor more than take away, because I can kind of get some given circumstances and stakes, because a lot of times we go into the booth not even knowing who we're going to be playing. It might be like, hey, because a lot of things are NDA, big secret, but you'll go in, you're like, all right, so you're playing this king. Your wife has been sleeping with your son, and your pet just died. All right, let's watch some Japanese.
All that happens in Blue Lock, right?
Sometimes.
I mean, that series is kind of known for being very over the top. So if you told me that happened, I would maybe believe you.
The stakes are high.
Right. And for this series in particular, it is a big sports anime, and sports anime has had a rough go of it traditionally in the Western fandom space, but I think in the last decade or so, it's really taken off in a major way, with stuff like Haikyuu being super popular, Yuri on Ice, of course, and now I would say Blue Lock is one of the sort of defining sports anime of this moment. It seems to be a really big deal. Do you find a lot of fans are coming from sports, or are they coming from anime, or do you find more meshing nowadays?
More
it's
meshing.
There's not as much of a distinction.
Yeah, where you might, I don't know, I grew up on the Dragon Ball Z's of the world,
Of
things
course.
like that. And,
Same here.
you would have a certain maybe type of person that will watch that show, and now with Blue Lock, it's combined so many things. Like you were saying, you've got weebs like myself, I don't know, but then you've got athletes as well. And coming over and seeing that it can be more intense, because Haikyuu is we're all friends, let's win together, and this show is there can only be one.
Right.
Your
It's
dreams
more of a
get
death
crushed.
game.
Yeah, death game.
Yeah.
And so I'm noticing the different types of people watching. Then, let's be honest, a bunch of hot guys fighting, right?
Of course.
Shirtless. So then you bring in another type of crowd of people who love to watch just for that. So it's cool to meet the different people, the shippers and the people that are there for the death battle.
Right. Multi-demographic appeal. It's got a little something for everybody, I guess. Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up here, I don't want to take up too much of your time. One thing I do really like to ask anybody that's working in the industry is what, in your opinion, is something that the fans can do to support you guys as workers in the industry that can be, often very difficult. I'm sure. I know it doesn't pay super well, and it's pretty rough out there. But how can the fans help you guys?
Oh, I mean, follow us on social media. Watch shows when you can. There's so many coming out now. So I mean, I get it. Do the best you can. And come visit us at the cons. We love coming into town, especially when we haven't been in town before.
Yeah.
And just kind of meeting and talking shop, because we do the shows and we move on. I mean, at least us as actors, we're looking for the next gig constantly. We're on the hunt, we're on the move, and so we get a chance to revisit these shows and these amazing moments and characters with you guys. So I love nerding out and just kind of going down memory lane.
And what's one of your most fun things to do that has absolutely nothing to do with anime or nerd stuff?
Oh man, I like martial arts a lot.
Okay.
I like
now you can't say that. Martial arts is super nerdy.
That's fair. Besides martial arts, Damn, I was gonna say video games. You know,
nerdy positive, of course. Okay, so you're dyed in the wool, absolute 100% nerd. It's like
100%.
Nothing I do isn't nerdy.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm like,
I get that.
I've been going backwards too with the games. Like the game's gotten, it's just too complicated. Open world. They want me to learn the whole world and the culture of the game. I just want to turn it on and go. Like I don't have time.
Single player adventure.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I'm playing like Pokemon Yellow right now.
Okay.
I've gone way back just to familiarity. I'm like, I know what this is.
Yeah, this is not complicated. This is simple. I know this. I get it. I replay Kingdom Hearts every like 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
So exactly. Well, it was a wonderful pleasure to talk with you today, and I hope you have a great rest of your con.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Of course. Other things. Let's see. I did not, unfortunately, get a chance to attend as many guest panels as I would have liked. I don't think I made it to a single, English-speaking guest panel, but I did make it to Toshio Furukawa's panel, and was fortunate enough to be able to ask him a question about the Fuma conspiracy, where he gave like a really interesting answer about. Well, first of all, that panel was set up in a very interesting way because it was basically his wife, who's also a voice actor, Shino Kakinuma. She basically did like a little trivia show about Furukawa's various roles, and every time someone would, she would roll the thing and ask the question, and anytime somebody won, they would get a couple collectible One Piece cards, from the One Piece card game. So that was really cute and fun. So there was like maybe 15 or 20 questions in the trivia show. And then basically Furukawa got the floor to talk about some of his roles, and Kakinuma did as well. But when I asked him about, what it was like to return to Lupin Zero after being away from the franchise since the Fuma conspiracy, which that would have been like 40 years?
Yes, I think
very
almost 40 years exactly.
Yeah.
We're close to it.
He basically said something along the lines of, because there was such backlash to that movie in particular because of the cast being different, I'm sure there's many detailed reasons, but essentially it was like budget issues, if I understand that correctly, Drew.
Yes, yeah.
That they recast everyone in that film, and he ended up playing Lupin and did a wonderful job. But he said the fans at the time were very bitter about it and let him know. So he kind of saw that as a black spot in his career for a long time until very recently, when he sort of reevaluated it after a producer invited him to be back on in the series for Lupin Zero to play Lupin the Second, because he really admired his work in Fuma Conspiracy. And I think and Furukawa said that basically now he's come to embrace his time as Lupin the Third. And I wish I had gotten a picture of it, but up on the projector slide, he had a fan illustration of all of his characters that he's ever played. And Lupin was like right there in the middle. And I'm just like, I'm really glad that he's sort of had this arc of what's the word I'm looking for? Acceptance, closure, I don't know, better perspective kind of thing. With his experience. Yeah, reclamation with Lupin the Third, brought on about by Lupin the First, and I'm sure like with your experience, he was probably delighted to sign a copy of Fuma.
Oh yeah, the moment I set it down, like he looked at it for a second, and then audibly went, "Oh!" It's like that made me so happy. He lit up when he saw it, and I got to tell him in person how much I loved his performance in the film and in both Lupin Zero. Which seemed to mean a lot, and that was a big highlight. Because he's really good in that movie, and man, fans are mean about that one, and fans are mean and they're wrong because that one's peak. It is funny though. I have to imagine it is kind of funny that Toshio Furukawa comes to North Carolina, home of Animego, and then just gets asked or gets approached with Fuma twice that weekend.
True. Because I'm sure like some people ask questions about like his role as in like One Piece in particular, and in let's see, because he's Piccolo in Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. So I'm sure the vast majority of the things that he signs are, the Ace stuff and the Piccolo stuff. So that was probably quite unique.
Yeah.
And I also brought I hate that I did not get a chance to go see one of his panels because he has not been to Animazement in probably a decade, but Shinichiro Watanabe came back, who's of course the director of Cowboy Bebop, just a legend, just one of the coolest guys of all time, one of the goats, as the kids say, just casually, in North Carolina. But I did get my Cowboy Bebop Session 0 Laserdisc signed by him, and now that's my third Watanabe Laserdisc. Sorry, my third Watanabe signature that I have in the collection. So very, very always great to see Watanabe come back, and he should come back more because he rules.
Yeah, and I'll be prepared next time. I'll have something for him to sign other than my con book, which is that also is really cool. I'm going to cherish that thing forever now. But next time I'm going to bring Space
Dandy. Take the page out and frame it.
That's true. I should probably do that.
I did that with my Studio Trigger autographs from back in, 2014 or 15.
Ooh, nice. I got to get a good frame. I got to get a lot of frames. I bought so many prints. I got to frame things. I am not a conscious collector.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Anything else y'all can think to talk about for the convention? I think attendance definitely felt somewhat lighter on Thursday and Friday in particular. It did not feel like they had the biggest Friday that I'd ever seen. It definitely picked up more on Saturday. But
it still was, it felt light on Saturday just compared to previous years. But honestly, the economy is in the toilet, and so many people right now are having to make that decision more than ever of, am I buying groceries or am I buying fun stuff and going to a convention and cosplay and blah, blah, blah.
Yep, that is definitely the case. I don't think Animazement's badge price has gone up this year compared to last year, which is good. And I did not notice anything out of the ordinary when it came to prices for like Artist Alley stuff or Dealer's Room stuff, even though I didn't really get a whole lot of time to spend in the Dealer's Room. Everything seemed about where it usually is. But I think that just speaks more to your point, Tori, is that people just simply cannot afford to do the things that they would like to do and would normally do under better economic circumstances.
Oh, yeah. Most of the regular vendors that I go to, I don't believe I saw anything marked up, which is really good. I do have to wonder if some of them were like, we'll keep it where it is to see if we can move more of it and maybe take a little bit of a loss, but versus like marking it up and not selling much of anything. I was lucky to be able to spend a lot of time in the Artist Alley, and kind of the same thing. Maybe $1 on some things here and there, but it wasn't like, stickers are, $10 now for a little one.
And I think I mentioned this in our Ibashocon review about seeing a lot more artists, or starting to see artists put up little signs that say, no AI was used in the making of this material and whatnot. And I found that to be way, way, way more common now. In just the difference of a few months. So it seems like, the AI hatred revolution is definitely here. And I believe it's probably here to stay, and as it should. But just seeing more people be very upfront and honest about, like, I made this with my hands, and if I was not bothered to create this thing, why should you be bothered to buy it? And making that very clear. And that's something that we did also in all of our panels, as well, as we tried to have that disclaimer that's like, we do not use generative AI in our panels whatsoever, and we will continue to not to. Because it really is important to say that, because unfortunately we live in a climate where you have to question these things. You can no longer just take art for being what it is. There's always this sort of layer of skepticism around that. I mean, I'm thinking of a very, very recent, timely example of the, coming off of the Nintendo Switch Direct recently with all the conversation and controversy around the Kingdom Hearts collection art and whether or not
my God.
generative AI was used in that. And it seems... I don't know exactly what the truth is when it comes to there. It seems like AI was used in the pipeline, at least at some point somewhere, even if the art itself might be original. But I don't know. But it's this really annoying conversation that we always have to have of like the well is so poisoned now. But it is nice to see artists, make a very clear stance. And I would challenge my fellow panelists to do likewise.
Yes.
I was going to say, it's like part of going up there and being a panelist is because you so genuinely enjoy most of the time the stuff that you're talking about. And I feel like, as somebody who gets very, very involved in their hobbies and their interests, half of the fun of that is the research and being able to hunt down these really like little interesting tidbits and things like that. And you can't get that if you're running a prompt through Chat GPT. And it's like there's so much misinformation, completely unrelated. But I was like earlier today scrolling through some comments on something about what was it? Something about Kei Arana and that she made, sorry, not to keep going on this, but like she made Gachiakuta because she worked on Soul Eater. And I'm like, no, she did not. She worked on Fire Force as an assistant.
Oh, God.
And like everybody in the comments was just like taking that person's thing as gospel. And like just a 2-second search can disprove that. And, I think
she would have been a kid when that came out.
Exactly. She's like not that old. And so it is like you when you were up there presenting, it's like you have to have that bit of maturity and responsibility to realize that you have a captive audience and like you are going to have those folks in there that aren't going to like they're just going to take what you say and not
they're going to trust you. They're going to trust you.
Yes. And like, have I said things that I've, accidentally misresearched and have said, yes, absolutely. But like, I've fixed that. And even if I'm unsure of something, I'll be like, I need to double check this, but I think this is right when I'm up there presenting. And it's so frustrating that, people will sit up there and pretend that they care about something to like them, I'm the number one fan of this or whatever. And then you can just tell that their script or their slides or whatever the hell they're using was run through Chat GPT. And I'm like, you're a loser. You're corny.
Yes. There's something so biting about the insult of corny when it's deployed.
Yes.
Well, I love it. Like,
it's quite good. Quite good.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm not aware of there being any issues with panelists having used, AI in their panels at Animazement specifically. But as a general PSA, I would say, well, don't do that because that makes you a corny loser.
Yes.
Cornball.
I would. Yeah, cornball. It's like the cat throwing the thing and it's just like a ball of corn. Anyway.
Exactly.
I would much rather see somebody up there or even just doing anything, even if it's like art or whatever, and it be quote bad or like rough but you can tell that they are trying and there's always going to be room to improve and be better than just spewing whatever. So
we love bad art. That's what Third Impact Anime Podcast is.
Yeah. It's
bad art.
Yeah, I was up there, whining and complaining about part 6, and I didn't need a ding dang prompt to tell me what I was going to say.
Gosh.
I spoke from the heart.
Exactly. Well, to pivot the topic a little bit, Drew, was there anything about the anime convention experience that you were surprised by?
That's a good question.
As someone who's not steeped in the con culture and the the feeling or whatnot for as long as we have. Like, we're just so blind to so many things. But you as a fresh-eyed young lad, was there anything about the convention experience that you're like, I didn't expect that?
Honestly, I'm trying to think of what a good one would be. One of them would be just like, at least for me, and again, because I'm not running a bunch of different panels, I was just guessing on one, just how just kind of chill and relaxed it was, never being super stressed out about anything, and just sometimes just sitting down and just taking in the vibe, seeing all the people in cool cosplay. There's, again, you can just sit and watch and see just the coolest, just amazing craft put into some of these costumes that I don't have the time or talent for. And it's just, it's so cool. Trying to think if there's anything about it.
So were you expecting it to be a little bit more hectic? Like, I'm rushing around?
Maybe like super crowded. And I don't do really well with huge crowds. I went into, I stepped foot into a Buc-ee's for the first time last year on my way to meet Emma and Chris in person for the first time. And I described it as having, like being basically the size of a Walmart supercenter with the foot traffic of Disneyland. Which, like, where like you could not stand still for 5 seconds to look at something because there was a throng of people coming at you from 3 different directions at all times. And that was one of the most nightmarish things I've ever experienced. I only found solace in the restroom where you could close the door of this giant door and just be like, okay, now no one can bump into me. So it was better than Buc-ee's. I will say that. It was a lot stressful.
It's better than Buc-ee's.
It's better than Buc-ee's.
That's going to be their merch for next year. Gosh.
But also just, again, having, both you, Austin, Tori, and everyone just to hang out with and relax, never be too stressed out. And also just the fact that you at any point you can just pop out of the convention center and just go outside and walk and stop by, we went to a few different little restaurants up and down the strip there, which was really nice. So I guess just the fact that I was never too overwhelmed. I was, but then that's a big draw for me coming back next year, even though part of my plan in coming back next year is that maybe I should do, inspired by you and Tori, I'm like, maybe I should bring a few cosplays and start to stress myself out a little bit, just, for fun.
You've got like 12 months almost.
Yeah. And the ones I have in mind are very simple. So I'm going to dip my toe in next year.
Yeah.
No, I felt myself sometimes over the weekend slipping into like Disney cast member mode, because I'd be like, okay, well, you guys could go there, and I'm like 2-finger pointing, like, and there's that, and you could go do that, and blah blah blah. And then I was like, you know what? They're capable. I'm just gonna. But I'm glad
let the nestlings fly.
I know. I'm glad y'all were able to make it though, because it was very interesting to sort of experience this through the eyes of people who have never been before. It was kind of the same thing last year when Coop and Maddie and everyone else were here, and sort of like hearing their takes on everything and how much like they enjoyed it too. Because it's definitely, I agree, definitely just big enough. And I mean, I started going to Animazement, and I think my first one was 2010. I've been every year except the year that they were closed for COVID.
They were closed for 2 years, but anyway.
Thank you. Anyway, every year except the 2 years they were closed for COVID. And it's like Austin said, you get like in your groove of like, okay, well, I know Thursday we're gonna go do XYZ, and Friday, these panels are this time, so we'll go do XYZ. And just, getting to do some things that normally I don't do or we don't do. And people watching is always fun. So
yeah,
very appreciated.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'll keep in mind for next year is this time, like, we had, Becca and I had some little panels that we had marked down on the guidebook we wanted to go to. But I think next year I might try to have more of like an itinerary of like, try to do even more. Because I was honestly happy with everything I got to do. But I'm like, next year maybe I'll like try to pop in for a few more things here and there. Some guest panels and a few other things.
That's one thing I always feel like I never do enough of is I feel like I never take enough pictures and I never go to enough fan panels.
I think I took one picture of someone else's cosplay and that was it.
Right.
I was going to mention at some point, that's one of my biggest regrets is not taking more pictures. I got some, but I was also just there, just to take it all in and just vibe for my first one, and it as much as I regret not having like a lot of pictures, I got the memories, man, and the experience.
Yeah, you were so caught up in the moment naturally that I think that's better sometimes.
Yes, right. Yeah. And again, being in that giant convention center, I am from a small, slightly rural town in Northeast Georgia. Whenever we travel to Atlanta, I'm just like standing there looking at giant buildings and being like, "Oh, would you look at that? That thing's pretty big, huh?" Like, I'm very easily amused. Becca and I were in line for a concert, the last dinner party a few days ago, and right nearby was just this gigantic cell tower, bigger than one I've ever seen. And the whole time I'm just standing there just like looking at it. And Becca's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. It's cool. I like seeing cool big things." So being in a giant big convention center, I'm like, "Man, would you look at that? That's pretty neat." I'm very easily amused.
No, I remember the first time I went to New York City and I was like, whoa, could you just imagine like what if you fell off of that right now? That's crazy.
Don't you love those thoughts coming in?
Yeah.
Yes, and one of my favorite things that has become even more true as I've gotten older and as I've been to a million of these things is that one of my favorite things about conventions is not necessarily doing any one thing in particular, but it's just having good chats with strangers. Like every now and again, you'll just run into somebody, whether it's like a cosplayer that you're taking their picture of or an artist at a booth or just a random person in line. I mean, some people are a little bit socially awkward or what have you. That happens everywhere. But when you have like a nice, pleasant exchange with someone who is just there to have fun, just like you are, and like you go your separate ways, but you had a nice little interaction, it's like, that's what it's all about, right? Just being pleasant, trying to be nice, and trying to make other people feel nice. I mean, I'm a simple person. I don't need much. That's good stuff for me.
I am but a humble con attendee.
Exactly.
See, I love how like 8 out of 10 times you have a really good, pleasant, like takeaway from that, and then meanwhile it happens to me, and then the person's like, "Hey, do you want to hear this extremely traumatic, awful thing that happened to me?"
Oh, also, yes. Your mileage may vary. In my will. Your mileage may vary.
Oh,
goodness.
But see, the flip side of that is like, I always put on RBF when I'm by myself, but then I come back and I'm like, why is no one talking to me?
Hey, you got to do what you got to do to stay safe out there in those streets.
That's so true.
Yes. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover specifically about this event, and I can't really think of it. I just think it was, another solid Animazement. I'm just delighted to have gotten to see so many good friends, because it's a great opportunity for the friend groups to collide. People who may know each other but don't see each other that often, and people that we definitely don't see a lot, like yourself, Drew. Getting to hang out with y'all and just have a wonderful, pleasant experience in anime land.
I'm going to anime land.
Excuse me. Shout out to the Animazement staff, especially the panel circuit peeps, because
Sean and Cassie.
Yes. Y'all took good care of us, and it's always very appreciated. And I wish that y'all got more time to do fun stuff instead of the job you have to do. Sorry.
Your pain is our gain.
Exactly.
One last thing I'll just say. Seeing the discotheque table in person is so scary. That's one of the most beautiful and frightening things I've ever encountered, because I've given them so much of my income for the last 10 years that when almost every single one of their releases is splayed out on a table in front of me, it's like, oh no.
I'm in danger.
Exactly. And I believe it was Mr. Discotheque running the panel. So I got to personally tell Mr. Discotheque how much I've bought from them over the last 10 years.
I personally am keeping you in business. You're welcome.
And he was probably like, yeah, you're the 10th person to tell me that today.
I think he was just like, oh yeah, cool. It's like, yeah.
And I do have to say, because on that note, it's like Blu-ray and DVD sellers at conventions are definitely still around, but they're not super there's not a lot of them. So whenever the discotheque booth, go ahead.
I was just saying, most of the time too, it's people, if they do sell them, it's like really big stuff. You don't usually find treats.
Or they're selling like MSRP price, which is really, really, really high most of the time for anime stuff. But whenever discotheque is there, their booth is constantly crowded and constantly selling stuff, and they sell at a lower rate than they do online, and also no taxes. So the amount you pay is the amount that's on the sticker. Yes.
And also a really cool thing about their table is, a lot of their stuff goes out of print on online stores for various reasons. But when you stop by that table, you may see a whole plethora of things that are, big air quotes, out of print that they still have numerous copies of. And you can catch up on releases, which I very much did the moment I saw that table. I'm like, and there's Space Warrior Baldios, and there's Baldios the movie, and I'm going to take that because I've regretted not buying those ever since they were taken off of Right Stuff. Remember Right Stuff?
Do I ever miss her every day, man?
Same. And it was fun to pop by because I went by the once and I was like, that's all I'm getting. And then Tori did the J-horror panel and featured Happiness of the Katakuris. I'm like, I'm going back.
Yup.
So that was cool. It was cool and frightening to see that whole smorgasbord laid out.
Well, folks, I think that's probably all we've got to say about Animazement 2026. And thank you both very much for joining me for this Con-versations. I really appreciate it. Tori, where can people find you online?
I am in our lovely Discord server, being a silly little guy. I am also on Blue Sky at Worst Waifu, and I am on Letterboxd at Ghost Story, STORI.
And where can the people find all the greatest Lupin the Third content for their ears?
Oh goodness, you can find that on our very nifty card page. We're on a lot of social medias except for Twitter. And you can find all of those on lupinpod.card.co. That's lupinpod.card.co. And if you want to find me on social media, you can find me on Blue Sky at DrewHunter15 at bsky.social.
And you can find the Third Impact Anime Podcast wherever it is that you are listening to it right now. You got here somehow. But if you are looking for other ways to find the show or to follow us on the socials, check out our website, thirdimpactanime.com, where you can find show notes for this episode and a whole list of all the different anime and conventions that we have reviewed over the years. It's now dawning on me, Tori, that next year, 2027, will be our 10th anniversary of this show, and that's incredibly bizarre to me. Absolutely crazy. I have no idea what it is that we are going to do to commemorate that. Probably nothing.
I have a perfect idea.
Okay, well, Tori has an idea, but you better not share it right now. If anybody else at home has ideas about what you think we should do for our 10th anniversary, send us an email and Tori will tell you if that idea is good or not.
Yeah.
But you can find me on Blue Sky at Ars Arcantum. You can find me also on Letterboxd under my old username Bebop Shock, and also, of course, in the Third Impact Anime Discord, which is a good place to be, that you should also be if you are a good person at being in places, because that is, of course, a requirement. You have to be.
Indeed.
You have to be nice and chill.
And cool.
And cool.
Agreed.
And corny, but only
Positively.
Positively. Exactly.
Corny.
Exactly.
Complimentary.
Exactly. But thank you guys again for joining me for this Conversations on Animazement 2026. I can't even speak because it's the end of the podcast. And that'll do. That's all. That's all I got.
Indeed.
Great work.
And thank you again, both Austin and Tori, for having me on this episode to talk about it. And again, Austin, thanks for inviting me on the panel. That again, I'm repeat myself, but it was really an honor to be up there with you guys. And thanks to both of you and everyone that I got to meet from the server for just taking the time to hang out throughout the weekend. It really was. That's a highlight of the year for me right there, and I really appreciated it and had a great time. Both Becca and I did, so just thanks again. It was the best.
Absolutely. We will do it again.
Yeah.
No choice.
This is not a request.
Yes.